All right, we got out of the melee. We are here at, what's the name of the store again?
Games Plus.
Games Plus, down in Schaumburg?
Mount Prospect, Illinois.
Mount Prospect, Illinois. So we're about an hour south, and we came down to watch Tim play at the Malifaux tournament.
Yes.
And you were so close to placing.
Close.
How close did you come?
Within 1 point of actually placing in the top 3.
Oh my god.
So it was my last game. I barely squeaked by in a victory, and unfortunately, like my differential didn't allow me to actually pull it off. So.
Oh man, but that second game. Tell us about that second game you had.
Second game. For those of you that play Malifaux, I was playing Terra, and I was playing as a Resurrectionist with Bet Noir, who starts buried. One of Terra's abilities is that she can cast a spell that allows her to use a single action from a model that's buried. Bet Noir has an ability called Run with the Night that whenever you use that action, the model is buried, heals all wounds, and removes all conditions. Well, I was fighting against Sonya Crate, and she throws a lot of burning on you. Mm-hmm. At that point, Terra had 6 burning on her, so that means at the end of the turn, she would have taken over half of her wounds and damage. My last activation, I cast One with the Night and buried her, and so it got rid of all that burning condition. And then, of course, with the way that the buried rules work, I kill a model, and one of my buried models pops out. So, and it happened to be a living model, so not only did Terra pop out from being buried, completely healed, no burning conditions whatsoever, but so did Bet Noir, who's also really good at just murdering things. So,
there's a lot of swapping that tends to go on, I've noticed, in Malifaux, which makes it extremely deadly.
Yeah, well, it's not a game. It's not a game where the goal is to go out and just murder everything. There are certain crews that are really good at that, but the game is all about gathering up total victory points between your teams and strategies. And,
so in that case, it's kind of like War Machine.
Yeah, to a point. War Machine does focus a little bit more on the killing side. I've had close games before where we've lost maybe one model the entire game, and I won or lost by 1 point.
Wow.
So it's a different experience to a lot of other miniatures games out there.
Now, just give us a quick. It's not a die game, and I know all of us are familiar with die games. This is a card game. What's the advantage of the cards over dice, would you say?
Well, for me, normally I roll terribly with dice. So, like if I play Warhammer, I could have 32 dice and half of them will be ones.
Right.
So, great thing with the card mechanic is it basically uses a bit of a modified, like standard poker deck, and then you get a control hand. So you have a stat, let's say it's your combat or casting or whatever it is, and it's a 7. So you flip a card and you add that to your 7. And let's say it's not high enough to beat.
So a tougher character has a higher base number.
Yeah, it has a higher base number, and then whatever you flip, you add to it.
Got it.
So, and then your Jack, Queen, and King are 11, 12, and 13 respectively. And so if you flip and you don't beat your opponent, you have this control hand of 6 cards that you can burn one, and basically it replaces whatever you flipped. So you could actually, in a way, it's called cheating fate. You can cheat fate in order to make an action go off.
Changing the die roll, essentially.
Yes. So, and then the great thing on top of that is based upon the suit that you end up using, it has triggers in the game. And certain models, instead of just like doing X amount of damage, it might have something that's like, well, I flipped a crow, I hit you, so now that model is paralyzed.
Nice.
So it can't activate at all. So the moment it goes to activate, it basically ends its turn and does nothing.
Beautiful, beautiful. So
there's a lot of cool stuff in the game like that.
Yeah. Geez, so many questions. What was your favorite part of today?
Favorite part of today is I've always enjoyed coming down here. I'm originally from Milwaukee, and we kind of have like a friendly rivalry of Milwaukee versus Chicago, and we've all become really close friends. So coming down here and playing against guys that I've only had a chance to talk to and haven't had a chance to play them, that was really fun for me today. So that was definitely a good thing.
Cool, cool, cool. Now, is this going to be going on at Adepticon?
Yes, it is. I'm actually going to be helping running it, and I've also got a lot of terrain and boards that I'm going to be doing for Adepticon. So we're going to be quite busy with it. We have pretty much our entire story encounter is filled out, which is about 76 tickets worth of people.
Wow.
If I remember correctly. And then we also have a 1-5 tournament. It's going to be the last 1-5 tournament that we do from the old edition of the game. And then we have a couple of other tournaments going on, like our teams tournament. So
what edition will they be playing at Adepticon? 2?
They're going to be playing the new 2nd edition, except for the 1.5. version of the game. We do have one tournament for the people that still enjoy.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, that's good. That's good because you're catering to both groups of people.
And, you know, at this point, like Weird has pretty much nixed all of the 1.5 stuff. We wanted to give those people that still enjoyed 1.5 that last hurrah before they have to either decide to not play the game anymore or completely update to second edition.
Gotcha. So. Now, you're like me, you're a terrain guy.
Yes,
You've been kind of busy. Why don't you tell us what you've been up to?
Well, the boards I'm making for Adepticon, they're all fixed boards. They're all themed around a lot of stuff in Malifaux. I have 2 finished right now. One is called Blood Jacuzzi. In the middle of the board, there's actually like a sacrificial pool that's filled with blood that's like severe terrain. So it's basically a King of the Hill where you got to run up the hill and get to the middle of this, like especially if it's a turf war game where you have to be in the center of the board. It gets really bloody really fast. Then I also have Hamlin's Hobble, which is a sewer board with an upper walkway level. So it's actually like you're playing the game on 2 separate
That is a
boards.
beautiful board, by the way.
Yeah,
tell us what's your handle and your channel on YouTube?
If you look me up under Tim Korkleski, you'll find me under that. Otherwise, Crack Skull Studios.
That's the one I like.
Yeah, that's the company name I use. And then on top of that, I'm building some other boards as well. The one I'm working on right now is Jaws of December. That's an entire ice board that's based around the Witch Cult of December.
Nice.
And then I've also got the Canyon Shootout, which is probably one of the highest built boards I have to date. And actually, at the top of the board, from bottom of board to top of board with the rock spires, it comes to 9 inches in height. So it's basically it's like an Old West canyon shootout. So both sides have a big, big canyon. They're fighting over a valley. So in that game, in order for you to get cover, you have to be aggressive and try to run up the other side of the hill in order to make sure you benefit from cover.
So. Man, that is nice. Now, how many crews do you have for Malifaux? How many different crews?
I've been doing Malifaux for quite some time, and I own almost everything that is in the Malifaux line.
Oh man, so
I'm only missing maybe 3 or 4 crews total.
Holy moly.
So,
and you've been playing for how long?
Since 2010. I want to say March of 2010 is when I started
playing.
Wow.
So, yeah, and I don't think the game's been out terribly long.
2007, Weird Miniatures started. 2009, they finally launched Malifaux.
So you're pretty much at the roots of this.
Yeah, I actually jumped in when it was still Malifaux 1.0. They haven't released their book 2 yet, which expanded upon the Masters. So it was just the basic book with the models in there. And then the first Gen Con that I worked with them is when they launched book 2, which introduced all of the new Masters. So
great. Any closing thoughts? Anything you want to share with the community in general?
If you haven't tried a skirmish game before, I definitely would give it a try, especially if you're either burnt out on the mass army games or you don't think you have the money to get into it.
Yeah.
Those skirmish games are a great way to go, and Malifaux is definitely at the top of it because of the unique mechanic of using cards. The best thing I can recommend is giving it a try. We have henchmen all over the world. If you find it, if there's Malifaux being played at a game store, there's a henchman there. They're more than happy to show you how to play the game.
Cool.
Most of them are very, very friendly, very, very good at showing you the rules. Jump in and try it. And the great thing with the game is that it only costs you like a crew set and a deck of cards to get into the game. So you're maybe out at top end $80.
That's very cheap entry fee when you compare it with the mass combat games.
And the cool thing of it is, too, is past the starter boxes, most games are played with a few more models. You buy like 1 extra blister or 1 extra model at like an additional $20 and you're set. You don't ever have to buy anything. You buy it because you want it, not because you need it.
Nice.
So, that's a great thing about it.
Well, congratulations. You almost placed. The guy was 1 point away from the strongest 4th place you could ever ask.
Yeah.
One of the coolest guys on YouTube. A nice guy. Thanks so much, Tim.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just don't want to go in the ring with you. You'd kill me. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.